More shapes. How many sides does this polygon have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. What do we call polygons with 4 sides? Quadrilaterals. Very good. How many sets of parallel lines does this quadrilateral have? 1 set. Very good. What do we call quadrilaterals that have at least one set of parallel lines? Trapezoids. Trapezoids. Very good. Next. Is this polygon a quadrilateral? Yes, it has 4 sides, the closed shape. This is a quadrilateral. How many right angles does this particular quadrilateral have? 0 right angles. None of these are right angles like a book. Is this quadrilateral a trapezoid? Think about that question. Is this quadrilateral a trapezoid? Yes, but why? It has at least one set of parallel lines. It has one set. The rule is you will be a trapezoid if you have at least one set. The fact that this has 2 sets doesn't disqualify it. This is still a trapezoid. What do we call quadrilaterals that have 2 sets of parallel lines? Look at this shape. It has 2 sets of parallel lines. What do you call that? A parallelogram. Yep, you got it. All right. Is this polygon a quadrilateral? Yes. How many right angles does this quadrilateral have? How many right angles are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Is this quadrilateral a trapezoid? Yes! Why is this quadrilateral a trapezoid? Because it has at least one set of parallel lines. It has 2, but if as long as you have 1, you can be a trapezoid. Is this trapezoid also a parallelogram? Look at your notes if you have to. Yes! Why is this trapezoid also a parallelogram? Because parallelograms have 2 sets of parallel lines. Very good. Is this parallelogram also a rectangle? Yes, very good. Why is this parallelogram also a rectangle? It has 2 sets of parallel sides and 4 right angles. This makes this guy a rectangle. Not only is it a rectangle, but that's one of the things that it is. Next. All right. Is this polygon a quadrilateral? Yes. Why? Because it has 4 sides, of course. How many right angles does this quadrilateral have? 0 right angles. None of these corners are like book corners, so there's 0 right angles. Is this quadrilateral a trapezoid? Yes. Why? Because it has one set, at least one set of parallel lines. It does have two sets, really, but that does not matter. It needs to have at least one set to be a trapezoid, so that's fine. Is this a parallelogram? Is this trapezoid also a parallelogram? Yes, because it has two sets. This is one set. This is two sets. It has two sets of parallel lines. Is this parallelogram also a rectangle? No. But why? It has two sets of parallel sides, but no right angles. It needs those right angles to be called a rectangle. The sides of this parallelogram are equal. What do we call a parallelogram with four equal sides? I don't know if you learned this term yet. We call it a rhombus. Write this down. R-H-O-M-B-U-S. A rhombus is a parallelogram with four equal sides. So that means this side is the same length as this side is the same length as this side, and this side is the same length as this side. They all equal the same amount. That's a rhombus. What is a rhombus with four right angles called? So if we kind of tilted this guy up this way, and these became right angles, what would that be called? A square. Very good. How else could you classify a square? What other labels does a square have? The label is like it's a trapezoid because it has at least one set of parallel lines. It's quadrilateral because it has four sides to it. It's a rectangle because it has two sets of parallel lines and four right angles. It's a parallelogram because it has two sets of parallel lines. And it's also a polygon because it's a closed shape. Now it's time to review some shapes.